Hello, people of the internet. Welcome to episode 8.
Hallelujah.
Oh no. 2 degrees of separation.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
That was terrible. We are your hosts. I'm Eli.
I'm Jacob.
And he is Jacob. Jake.
Whatever.
So, the game plan going into this episode was, I was gonna put this story off because there
is no good reason at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, there's no good reason. Jacob was asking me about it before we started, and he was like, you can't put... I think he just wanted to hear the story.
No, you can't put it off so then it isn't fresh in your brain. You need it fresh in your head to tell a good story.
Listen. This is a story that I will never forget. This is
getting hit in the face with a cable at WrestleMania worthy.
Exactly. I'm gonna be 97 on my deathbed with dementia, and I'm gonna remember this. That's how it is burned into my memory. It's
Dude,
there.
What happened?
All right. So, as stated in the previous episode, my girlfriend and I, Kristen, her and I, we went to Salem, Massachusetts for a week. And all around, all around, it was a fantastic time. The city of Salem, I have never been in a place that was so old and had so much history. Okay, obviously, even being in New Orleans, there is a lot of history here, but Salem's different.
Yeah, the photos you showed me looked wild. The place just looks old.
It is.
It looks like Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, literally. Okay, so we got there. And the first day we showed up late. All right, we were just getting our bearings on everything. Riley time. And so we were. When I say late, it was like noon. All right,
that's not late.
Boy,
that's not late.
What a mistake. So.
Oh no.
We showed up. We were trying to find a place to park. Anywhere. We tried 3 or 4 different parking garages. We couldn't find a place in any of the actual parking areas. Even they had areas in which you could park, and it was $40 a day to park. Those were all filled. Okay, there was nowhere. So we're just driving around the city of Salem. Okay, and I didn't even say, okay, I'm sorry. Boston? Not even Boston. Massachusetts? It is hands down the worst state to drive in I have ever been in.
Why?
Oh, their roads are atrocious. They will just randomly change without any sort of notice. So let's say you're in the right lane. And you're trying to go straight, all right? And you don't know whether you need to be in the left lane to go straight still, or you need to be in the right lane to go straight. It'll just you get right where the road splits, and they're like, all right, you got to turn now, or you got to go straight.
Oh man!
And now you're jam packed in traffic. You got cars all around you. So what do you do?
Panic?
Nothing.
Panic.
You just accept it for what it is. When we left, so we rented a car when we left the airport with the car.
Mm-hmm.
We were driving down a road. It was 2 lanes. And then the 2 lanes, we went around a bend and it opened up. This puppy opened up and there is not a single line anywhere
nice
on this wide open street.
Heck yeah, dude.
I was driving in the left-hand lane towards oncoming traffic.
Oh, no, you weren't. No.
I swear. Oncoming traffic. Yeah, so I was like, all right, I'm not supposed to be here. Yeah, so it was at that moment I knew this was going to be atrocious. Okay,
dude, no.
That happened. They have intersections. All right, let's say you're at a 4-way and you know, you have a turning lane. So let's say I'm trying to turn left. So usually you would at some point the turning lane would turn, you know, it would have a light that turns green with an arrow to turn, you know?
Yeah.
Doesn't exist. You get a blinking yellow light every time the light cycles through each
that's
like
the worst.
Lane. They literally expect you to cut people off because there's no openings in traffic.
Oh, dude.
The light never turned green. I sat through 2 or 3 like rotations of the light before I realized like you
just gotta peel out.
I have to pull out in front of somebody. Yeah, it was awful. So Massachusetts, hats off to you. You're terrible. Like, it was awful. That drive, anytime I wasn't in a car, I was happy. Let me just say it that way.
I think that's most people.
That's most people. I can agree to that. But this driving here was, I hope to never drive in an area worse than that. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Worse than Michigan, hey?
Oh, all right. So the roads weren't worse. No,
the roads.
The roads in Michigan,
the way they were laid out.
Yeah, it was just the way they were designed. It was terrible. And apparently this happened after this thing, which I don't know about, called the Big Dig. Okay,
the Big Dig.
Yeah, I had multiple people talk about this Big Dig, which I had never heard of, and apparently the roads before that were fine-ish.
Oh no, what'd they do?
I don't know, but I couldn't imagine trying to traverse that geographical location prior to having GPS. But I am at this point admitting to everybody, every boomer in existence, I am a privileged human being for having Android Auto and an Apple Car, whatever the crap it's called, because I would still be in the state of Massachusetts.
Come on, man, it can't be that bad.
I'm so dead serious.
All I remember from Massachusetts is hills, like lots and lots of hills.
Oh yeah, there's tons of hills. Yeah, it is very hilly.
They have like runaway pull-offs for semis.
I couldn't imagine trying to take a semi truck through there. There's no way. Nope. There's no way.
I mean, people do it. People do it.
They
shouldn't, but they do.
They're better than me. So this is first day. We're late. It took 2 hours to find a parking spot. We ended up on the outskirts of Salem. We parked at it was a public park, okay? Is where we actually got to park at. And I was like, dude, sick. I'm frugal, I'm cheap. Free parking.
Uh-oh. Like, I feel like this is gonna go bad.
No, it didn't. It was perfectly fine. Come to find out, the place that we parked at, it was called Gallows Hill.
Gallows Hill.
And that was for the longest time, it was the place that they thought that the hangings happened.
Oh, nice, dude.
They made a public park out of it. And actually, like, walking, because we had to walk back to the car, obviously.
Yeah.
Walking back to the car, you can see the water tower for the city of Salem, and it says Salem on the water tower with a witch, which is actually really tight.
Oh, that's so cool.
I have so many pictures that I'm gonna send to you. I'm gonna do some like photo dumps on the socials. I've been completely away from social media for like a week, you know? So I got a bazillion photos.
It's time to return.
Yeah, I got so many. And so we're walking from the car to the actual like downtown area of Salem.
Mm-hmm.
And not every house, but a massive portion of the houses you walk by, they all have plaques on them that have the year the house was made. So tons of these houses were in like the early 1700s.
Oh, that's so sick.
Bananas. Not only did it say the
Cowboys.
year. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And not only did it say the year the houses were built, it said the name of the individual it was built for and what their occupation was. So
That's
if
so sick.
it would be like it was built for Captain, John Doe, whatever. Like I have a picture of one of the plaques and it has the person's name, it has the year, and their occupation was fancy painter.
Dude, I wonder. Dude, that's straight up 1700s. That's like Declaration of Independence.
Bro, yeah.
Yeah, that's way back. Why was I thinking cowboys, dude? That's way before that. Yeah.
Pilgrims.
Way before. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool, though. That straight up is Assassin's Creed 3 time.
And actually, like,
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it tonight.
So there you go. Basically all the streets in that area are like actual cobblestone, and when I say that, like, it's not cobblestone, it's like bricked.
Yeah,
all of the streets are bricked. Like,
that's
well,
so
not the
gnarly.
streets, but the sidewalks are all bricked. It's so crazy. And then walking around downtown in Salem, there's actual like cobblestone walkways as well. There's just the amount of history in this place was just bananas.
Definitely somewhere to visit. That's on the list.
100%, without a doubt.
On the list.
You gotta. It's absolutely stupidly expensive if you want to do it the time of year we did it. Wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend going in like the summer, unless you want to experience the whole Halloween thing, because there were a ton of people while we were there.
I guess it's like they do that for this time of year. They do that whole Halloween thing.
I mean, they really don't. So, there's what's the name of the movie? Bewitched. Okay, so the original Bewitched movie came out in like the 60s or 70s, and they have a bronze statue. I can't remember the actress's name off the top of my head, but they have a bronze statue of her sitting on a crescent moon.
That's cool.
Like the downtown square area. And apparently prior to this movie coming out and like the acceptance of witches, basically if you came to Salem prior to that movie coming out, people, if you mentioned witches, it was hush hush. It was like, we don't talk about that. We do not talk about that.
Makes perfect sense.
And then so the movie came about and people were like, okay, yeah, witches. And it just became fine, and then it kind of became an attraction, and then Hocus Pocus came out, and that became it became bigger because
that was the thing, man.
I'm trying to think how many. There were 3 different locations in Salem that were used to film Hocus Pocus. So Allison's house, we drove by Allison's house multiple times trying to find a parking spot, and we just had no clue. And we ended up, like, we were walking from the car to downtown, and we passed it, like, and we saw it, and we were like, oh, dang, that's the house.
That's it.
And it was wild being able to see that. And they have a backyard garden, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this garden is phenomenal. It is laid out with walkways. They have tons of different flowers.
Oh, that's so cool.
Behind the house is nutty. Apparently at certain times you can go inside the house, but we weren't able to while we were there, which sucks. But the inside of the house wasn't used in the movie.
Right.
It wasn't.
Go figure.
Yeah, it was just the outside, but that was tight. Max and Danny's house, that was filmed in Salem, and which is like this spot that house is in. You would never know from the movie that the house literally sits on the harbor, and the people that own the house now, it's an older couple, and I can only imagine. So when the road is blocked off, you can't take a car down there unless you're a resident, like your house is on those two streets. So
wow.
we went and stopped at a park, and we walked over there to see it. It is right on the harbor, and the older gentleman was sitting in like I'm gonna call it the sunroom that's on the side door of the house.
Yeah.
He was sitting in there, and I can only imagine like the view that he has.
Oh, no
from
doubt,
the house,
dude.
is
yeah.
Unreal. Like, we went to that house the last day we were there, like actually in Salem, and we went in the afternoon. It was like 5:00, and the picture I have of that house, just the lighting is phenomenal, and I can only imagine the crazy view that they have living there. It's unreal. It really is. So that's tight. But then there were like not couples, but there were groups of people just like hanging out outside of their house, which was very odd. Like
that's not
people
cool.
Live there. People live there. We literally showed up for like 5 minutes. We took pictures of the house and left. Man, these people were just like hanging out, like, a wee bit of privacy.
Don't push.
Like, they get that they live in that house, and it's an attraction, and so they're like fine with people coming up taking pictures, but like don't push it, because the city of Salem is a functioning. It is not Disneyland. It is not a tourist. It is a tourist attraction. It's not what's the word I'm looking for? It's not an amusement park.
Right.
So there's people while we were there that were going to work. There was,
that's like our hometown, though.
Our hometown sucks, though.
Yeah, but to other people, it's a tourist town, and we were just going to work.
But nobody's going to take pictures of your house and hang outside of your house.
Hey, but people go take pictures of the lake.
Yeah, well, that's different.
Out front of everybody's house.
Yeah, but so just hanging outside of someone's house because it is that house, that's like,
Yeah, it's too far. It's too far.
Yeah, go on about your day.
Drive by. Whoa, cool.
And yeah.
That's it. That's all you need.
Right near that house, there's this place called Pioneer Village, which some of the quote unquote witches, because they weren't actually witches, the people stayed at, and they still have like the houses there, which were like tiny little shacks. We didn't get to go in and see it, but we saw it from afar, which was really cool.
Did anybody talk about the ergot? The rye poisoning?
One guy, we heard it. So there's a million tours you can take: walking tours, trolley tours,
right,
day tours, night tours. Okay, tons of tours. And we overheard one guy as we were like sitting in a courtyard somewhere outside the visitor center, and there was one tour guide who mentioned the ergot, and he told the whole backstory of so rye can,
it's a fungus that grows on rye.
But hear me out. He explained it that basically the idea of that causing the hysteria was almost impossible. So the fungus, if you consume it, will do nothing to you. You would have to like basically smother this stuff in an open wound on your body, or like put it in an open orifice. Okay, you're by eating it wouldn't do anything to you.
Man.
But yeah. So getting it into your bloodstream is a different situation. It could cause mass hallucinations. He explained it, and he basically was like, the idea is wild, and it wasn't very new theory that came about, but it's not so much believable that that's what caused it. It was more so like maybe somebody in the village happened to have like epilepsy, and these other people were seeing that somebody was getting attention for having this problem, and they were like replicating it to get attention.
Right.
And then they were like, we got it from this person. And they were like, they hexed us. Now we have this problem. Okay?
Right.
So there were, I can't remember the exact amount. So it was like 19 to 21. I think it was 19 people. No, it may have been 21. There was 19 people that were hung.
Oh, wow.
And I want to say, yeah,
Ew.
there was 19 people that were hanged.
That's
there was
insane.
one died in prison. And then this one I didn't know about. This one I did not know until we went there, which is this, like, people suck, okay? Hearing this story, hearing this story was just horrible. There was an older guy who was in his 60s that just was not, he was an ornery old man. And people didn't really like him. And he was in his 60s. He got blamed for being a witch, all right?
Man.
What did they do to him? You may ask. He wasn't hanged. They laid him down, put planks on his back, and they loaded him up with boulders.
Oh, dude.
They squished him to death.
Oh, man.
That's not the bad. I mean, that's bad.
That's bad.
It took him 2 days to die.
Dude.
2 days. It took him 2 days to be squished to death.
No thanks.
That's horrible.
Nah. Man.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Like, I knew about the hangings. But not the rocks. Hearing that, I was like, mind blown. Like,
I wonder how it was.
What?
Was it like small stones and the townspeople just dropped them on them while they walked by? Or was it big stones and they were just like stacking them?
They explained it as big stones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, as of very recently, within the past like 8 years, I think it was, they believe they found the exact spot that the hangings were done. And so that place, it's called Proctor's Ledge. And
Proctor's
we got to go
Ledge.
see
Like John Proctor? Pretty sure he was from the Crucible.
Well, fun fact for you. John Proctor was one of the witches, Jacob.
Oh, well. At least I remembered something from high school.
Yeah, right. So John Proctor, he was one of the people that he was hung. And so it is called Proctor's Ledge. And they have like a small little memorial there, which is bananas because they have all in stone. They have all the people's names that, were hanged and so on. And it's on like the tiniest little hill, and Kristen and I, we walked up it, and I don't think we were supposed to. There was a trail. Let me put it this way. There was a trail.
Somebody walks up it.
Somebody walks
here
and
up there.
For sure. But it's between two houses. One in the hill, like over to the right side, there's a house. And then up at the top of the hill, there's a house. And we were kind of in this like gated off area.
Oh.
But it was wild to think like they just found this. They just found this out. They actually thought the hangings happened at Gallows Hill where we parked.
Yeah.
Okay. And within the past couple of years, they found out that they believe that Proctor's Ledge was where it happened.
I wonder what changed.
So what changed was there was one of the people accused of witchcraft. Rebecca Nurse was her name. So after the people were hung, I don't know, past tense, hung. After they were hung, all right, they would take these people and they would dig a shallow grave, and that was it. Like, if there was rainfall, you're seeing bodies. Okay?
Okay.
That's how bad it was. Rebecca Nurse, she had 2 sons, and after she was hung, they put her in a grave, shallow grave. Her 2 sons snuck in, dug her up, took her body back to the place that she was residing in, that she was renting, and they like actually buried her properly. And they found their notes, their notebook, like diaries, so to speak. And
that's crazy.
And this is in the past 10 years. This is like very, very recent. And they using their diary, they actually explained kind of where they went to get her body.
Dang,
and that's how they found out about the place that it actually happened. So bananas, like standing there and just like in that area was like almost horrifying, almost horrifying.
Almost.
It was. So, and then another fun fact for you. Over the years since, so this happened in the 1600s, all right?
Right.
And
quite a while ago.
It happened in it was like a 1 to 2 year time span that this happened. And so from the 1600s till now, they have been like exonerating these individuals that were hung. They were exonerating them from the witchcraft thing. Like, they were like, yeah, basically the government has been publicly acknowledging they did nothing wrong.
Right.
Do you know when the last person exonerated was?
Probably recently, if I had to guess.
Last year.
Yeah, dude.
It was last year.
So recent.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting. It took us 300 years.
That's fine. I know.
That's disgusting.
How long has the Earth been around? It's fine. It's like a blink of an eye, right?
300 years?
It's like a blink of an eye.
Yeah, so it was
only
last year.
Like 4 generations.
Yeah.
5.
I can't remember the person's name. It was a woman. Yeah, last year. Crazy. Bananas. So
that's insane, dude.
Yeah. So we went to all right, I might be ignorant. All right. The word, all right, I'm going to spell it for you. It's Peabody. How would you say it?
Peabody? Peabody.
Yeah. All right. Well, guess what? You're wrong.
Well.
So, everybody in that area, it's Peabody.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, if that's how you want to play it.
Peabody. All right. So
Peabody.
There's a museum there. It is, I'm going to say Peabody. It is the Peabody Essex Museum. And they have a I don't know if it's new or if they do it every year and they just like take this part of the museum to do it, but they have a spot in the museum for the Salem witch trials, and you go in there. It's a small section, and they have like doors from people's houses from back in the 1600s. They have like walking canes. They have parts of the prison cells that these people were in. It was mind-blowing.
I'm assuming it's just to like, why hold on to all that stuff?
I mean, because it's hundreds of years old, and it is like of historical significance.
Yeah, but all of it?
No, not all of it. It's not all of it.
What does a jail cell door have to do with
it? It wasn't a jail cell door. It was like they were using it to show reference of like what the cell was made out of, and it was like these massive blocks of wood. It was very weird. They had stuff from like the judge's house, like some of their furniture or like a chest, you know? And when I say a chest, I'm talking like this thing's a trunk.
Treasure.
Huge. And it was mind-blowing to go through all like reading everything.
I
like,
bet.
People just sucked so hard.
Like it was a different world back then, man.
It just basically the best way I can explain it, if because apparently some people aren't taught this in school about the witch trials. The best way I can explain it was if you were not liked by somebody or somebody thought you owed them something, they were going to accuse you of witchcraft and they were going to use this form of evidence, which was called spectral evidence, to accuse people of witchcraft. Like having a dream and just being like, I had a dream that this person broke into my house or yada yada. They killed my crops. My animals died, and they would just pinpoint it on somebody.
Dang, dude.
That was it. And there was, and basically the judge would be like, I mean, they had spectral evidence, man.
Oh,
you're a witch.
Dude.
You're a witch, okay? And they just accepted it at face value. Because these people couldn't... Yeah, idiots. They couldn't defend themselves. They couldn't just be like, well, you know, it was a dream.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, but at the end of the day, what do dreams mean?
Memes. No.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, that's true. But, so what ended the hysteria for the witchcraft thing was... It was either the governor or the mayor, his wife or daughter was accused of witchcraft, and he goes, hold up, everybody, time out. This spectral evidence stuff, out the window. You're not accusing my people of this. Out the window. We're not using this anymore.
We're done with this.
Basically, that's a bunch of crap. Like, that's so dumb.
Crazy.
It was just a higher up. Finally, somebody close to them got accused, and that's what ended it. Which is so dumb. Oh, people suck so hard. But yeah, no, seeing the amount of history there was just mind-boggling. I don't even. It's if you're interested in the history of the United States, I highly recommend going there. Told you about the museum, like what it looked like in that area. Jacob, you probably don't know about this.
Probably not.
There is an author, a very famous author, by the way.
Oh, I definitely don't know
it. He wrote a book called The Scarlet Letter.
I know, I've heard of that.
Okay, so his name is Nathaniel Hawthorne. And
no, it does sound familiar.
His second most famous book, aside from Scarlet Letter, was called The House of Seven Gables. And
that sounds familiar.
A gable is like a connecting point in the house. So like where it comes to a triangle, you know?
Gotcha.
And so this guy, an author, he would go visit his cousin and she would tell him stories of her childhood living in a house. And it was the House of Seven Gables. So he ended up writing a book based off of that house. We got to go into that house.
Oh, dude.
Mind-blowing. So to preserve the housing, a lady bought it way back in the day. As the house was like passed down through generations to different people.
Right.
The house went from 7 gables to 4. It actually got somebody kind of took parts of the house out, so
Why?
It only became. I can't answer that because it was a huge house.
Yeah, but like, why would you ever make a house smaller?
It made no sense to me either. but the way they designed the house was kind of modular, so it wasn't hard to do.
Oh, okay.
So we went on a tour through the house, and like luckily Kristen and I, we went on a tour at like the perfect time that it was just her and I. We didn't have a bunch of these other tourists, so we like had a one-on-one with our tour guide, which is really cool. We got to ask a bunch of questions. So walking through this house was absolutely bananas.
Oh, no doubt.
You're talking the ceilings in this house were the 7 feet tall. Like really short.
Yeah, really short, super short.
Super short. The lady that bought the house, she had the house moved to a specific area because she had some
good
land
for it.
Well,
stable.
What she did is she got the house moved, and then she had the house historically accurately rebuilt to the House of Seven Gables.
Oh, so she just got it restored like a car.
She had historians. She brought in historians to help recreate the house. And as you're stepping through each room, they're like, I mean, obviously they're telling you about the house, but there was one room we went into where they took, it was like 7 or 12 layers of like wallpaper and paint off the wall.
Dude.
To get down to the original paint color of the house or like that room. And they completely repainted that room, the accurate color to that color, the original color.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Sounds
like a lot of work.
And so we're going through this house, and it's mind-blowing because a lot of the house is still original, but then there's stuff that they added on. And they rebuilt that house, and not only that, the lady also bought the house that Nathaniel Hawthorne was born in, that he grew up in. She bought that and put that next to the House of Seven Gables. And so there is a tiny little, like, almost town-like
of this guy
area that you get to go through that is, like, super historical.
That's so cool.
Really, 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 really cool. It was wow. Yeah, walking through each room, they had like one of the rooms was like I'm gonna use the phrase an entertainment room, so to speak. That was the room like people would just hang out in.
Right.
They in that room, as we were getting ready to walk out, our tour guide was like, "Oh, I forgot. Here's this closet," and it was like their, I guess it was their liquor cabinet, so to speak. And she opened it. I wish I didn't take any pictures inside the house, and I should have. It was so wild because when she opened this closet, it was like unlike any closet I had ever seen. Like there was these circular shelves, and it like the top of the closet was all domed inwards. It was just.
I'm gonna see this closet.
Bananas.
I've got to see it.
I gotta see it. It was so cool. A lot of history out there. So we saw that. We toured those houses. But that history aside, so that all happened. Right before this is so this.
This is what I'm here for.
This is what you're here for. So, like 3 days before we left to go on vacation, I'm sitting here, I was scrolling on my phone, and I saw a news article saying that the cast of Hocus Pocus was gonna be in Salem for the 30th anniversary the weekend we were there. All right.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be from that moment.
Boy. So.
The stars have aligned.
Boy.
So
they did 2 things. They had one night where they went to a bar called the Bit Bar, and they had like a Halloween. It wasn't a contest, but it was a Halloween party. So you like dressed up and such.
Woo!
tickets were $250 a person.
Okay,
I said,
not
listen,
woo.
Hocus Pocus was wild. Would have been absolutely
a bunch
tight
of Hocus
to experience.
Pocus to pay for that.
It was
bunch of Hocus Pocus to pay for that.
Saw that and I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, there's no way. But then come to find out, all right, we'll get back. All right, we'll get back to the Halloween party. But then the following day they were doing autograph signings and like you could go get your picture taken with them in the Commons of Salem.
Heck yeah.
And so we got tickets. We got tickets to get autographs from Omri Katz, which is Max, the guy who played Max.
Max was. Remind me.
Max.
It's been a while.
He's the main guy, the young guy, the main.
Oh
guy.
yeah, okay, yeah.
You sure? You good?
I do. Yeah, he's got the shaggy middle parted hair. Wears the
Correct.
green jacket.
Yeah, he's the little leaguer.
I want that green jacket.
So, I
want that green jacket so bad.
We got tickets to get autographs from him, and there was 4. When I say the cast of Hocus Pocus, it was Max, Danny, Allison, and then there was one other guy we just didn't know who it was. I'm being blunt, all right? We just thought it was some other guy that may have been at the beginning of the movie. Was it
the voice of like the cat or the zombie?
Come to find out, it was the voice of Binks.
Right? Dude, yeah, I knew it was gonna be that guy.
Here's a fun fact for you. You remember the beginning of the movie where it's like supposed to be back in the ye old days?
Yeah, back in the Salem days.
Back in the Salem days, all right? And you had the guy who was actually doing the real life part of Thackeray Binks.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know his that was entirely dubbed?
Really?
That's not his voice. It is the guy who did the voice for Binks. I can't remember his name either. So, but all right, yeah, that was completely dubbed. They actually filmed the entire movie, and then they got him to come do all of the voice work for Thackeray.
Dude,
Binks. Yeah, absolutely.
No.
Wild. Yeah, didn't know that.
I mean, I guess I can understand it.
They just apparently did not. They did not like.
It's one of those things.
Yeah, Jason Marsden. That's his name. Jason Marsden. That's the guy who voiced.
Shout out to Jason.
So Kristen got a ticket to get an autograph from him. And so this was on a Saturday. You got an email. I can't remember if it was the night before or it was earlier in the day. And they said the event was happening from 12 p.m. and ends promptly at 7 p.m. What does that mean to you, Jacob, when I say it ends promptly?
Ends at 7.
Like it is ending at 7. We're done. It's 7.
Yeah.
So
they probably start closing at like 6:30 even, dude. They're probably wrapping it up.
So the Commons area is just a big open park, all right? And we pulled up around like 12:30 and the line was really long, and we were like, yo, hopefully this is just the people that like read the email and they were like, oh, we got to be there for noon. So we were like, all right, we're going to come back in a little bit, see if it dies down.
Oh, no.
Meanwhile, Saturday is the only day that it is raining. It's not raining hard. It's like a light drizzle. And we had umbrellas. Okay, we prepared. We went and bought umbrellas. Good. So, we went and did some stuff. We're fooling around at the stores, like the shops, looking at stuff. In somewhere between that noon period, like us being there around 12:30, and when we showed back up, I went to go close the umbrella one time, and I caught my hand, and I cut my hand open.
Oh, right? No.
Okay. Yeah. Cut my hand open. So,
like bad?
I wasn't terrible, but it was definitely bleeding.
Okay. Dude. How did you manage?
I must have pinched it in between two metal pieces.
Eek.
Cut that bad boy open. Like, I felt it when it happened, and I was like, dang, I don't even want to look at my hand. Like, I know I cut it.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, so, at this point in time, we ended up finding, like, a little, it was like a little, not cart, but a little outside shop tent that somebody set up, and there was this,
like a gazebo?
Yeah, kind of. It was small, and it was like, these older people that were selling t-shirts and sweatshirts that their daughter drew of, like, it had like a ghost, a bat, they had the witch house on it, and
That's cool.
she started drawing the pictures at the age of 6, and when we were there she was 11, and they were selling this stuff to fund her through college, which is really
that's
tight.
cool, dude. Yeah,
it was cool. So we bought some shirts and such there. So now I am carrying around a brown paper bag stuffed with shirts, all right? In the rain.
Oh, yeah, dude.
So rain got a little heavier. It wasn't bad. It was still pretty light. Things, we were like, all right, it's like 2:00. Let's head back over there. We get over there. It's 2:20. All right. It's 2:20. We pull up. The line hasn't moved.
Dude.
All right. It's the same length. So we just were like, it's either we do it now or
now or never. It's now or never.
We paid buku money. We paid buku money for this, and we're just gonna waste it. All right. So we got in line.
Yeah.
We got in line.
Should have gotten in line sooner. You should.
We should. We should have. Dude.
Oh no.
I can't, like, I'm telling you, this moment of my life, it's going to sit with me for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life. So we're in line, probably about half an hour, and we've taken all of dead serious 5 steps. Okay? And
it's Brockhampton all over again.
No, wait, dude, wait. So we had, there was a guy he came walking down the line, and he's asking people, like, you already pre-purchased your tickets, yada yada, because they were selling tickets there. Like, you could get in line, buy your tickets. Did you already pre-purchase tickets, yada yada? Come to find out, they sold out the tickets there. So there was one guy coming asking that, and then there was a woman and her daughter in front of us, and she asked the guy, she's like, all right, can we, she's like, we don't have tickets, but can we at least go meet them? Like, we're not going to get an autograph, we're not going to get a picture, just meet them. He's like, yeah, that's fine. 10 minutes goes by. Another guy comes walking down the line. Did you pre-purchase your tickets? It's sold out, yada yada. So the lady asked again, she was like, all right, I just want to make sure we didn't get tickets, but can we stand here so we can just at least meet them? He goes, I'm sorry, but no. And I go,
oh man,
oh no. He goes,
oh no,
no, the tickets have sold out, and with where you're standing at in line right now, it's about a 3-hour wait.
Oh no, dude.
He said 3 hours, and I looked at Kristen, and it was just like, there's no way. Okay, we've been to cons before, you know,
dude.
In a line this long, you're talking like maybe an hour and a half at very best.
3 hours. Bro, what are they doing? Having dinner with everybody?
Dog, when I tell you, he wasn't kidding. This man was not joking.
What were they doing? What could they possibly have been doing that took them that long with every person?
Listen, all right, we're standing in line. An hour goes by. At this point, the commons, the grounds where we're like standing in line is starting to get muddy because it's been raining all day.
Yeah, I bet.
It's starting to get later in the day. It's starting to get cold.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
We're an hour deep into this thing, and we've moved. I'm so serious. We have moved 40 feet. All right. You couldn't even see the tent they were at from where we were at in line. Another hour goes by. We ended up making friends with the people in front of us, and they were like the locals from Salem. And we're just having we're joking, just talking about like random stuff, obviously, because we don't know these people, they're strangers.
Right.
And we're moving inches at a time. Not even inches. Centimeters at a time. Every 15 minutes, you were lucky to move a pinky toe.
Oh, man, dude, that's trash.
We're rolling. Trash. It's 5 o'clock. We went from 2:20 to 5 p.m. All right?
It'd be like that.
At this point, rain picked up.
No.
It's raining.
The bag of shirts.
It's raining. Okay? We have umbrellas. So we're kind of covered.
Kind of.
But weather sucks.
But the wind.
We got rain. It's getting colder. The wind picks up.
Yeah.
Dude.
Who'd have guessed that would happen?
It's 5 o'clock.
It's fine.
We're barely moving. It is now 6 o'clock. And we still can't see the tent.
No, you can't. You can't see it.
It's 6 o'clock. You can't see the tent. Okay?
Dude.
My shoes are full of mud. I can't feel my feet. I can't feel my feet anymore. That show we went to Brockhampton, Jacob, you know how bad that was.
My toes burned for like an hour after we got into the venue.
I could not feel my feet. I legitimately lost feeling in my feet.
Yeah, I think I suffered damage to some of my toes from that Brockhampton show. So I can only imagine what the water.
It's been raining on us.
Yeah.
For 4 hours.
It too. Throughout the day. So your shoes are already wet on top.
I've been standing in mud. I have a picture. I have a picture from that night. After we had left, walked all the way back to our car, and drove back to the hotel. My pants were wet from my feet to my knees. It is now 6:45. I'm carrying a paper bag full of shirts that are the paper bag has disintegrated. It basically doesn't exist anymore. It's just a wet sack. Okay. I'm so out of it. It's 6:30. We can finally see the tent. But do we only just see the tent? It's the first tent. There's 2 tents you had to go through.
No.
So
was one just full of blow dryers?
No. It was full of blow dryers. So I am losing sanity very fast. Mind you.
Yeah, I mean, I would too.
We've been in line for 4 hours.
Did you eat?
4 hours.
Did you eat?
No.
Oh man, I'd be out of my mind.
4 hours we have been standing in the rain. There were people that left that line after standing there for hours.
There were bodies. Yeah.
Okay. And 6:30 we see the first tent. By 6:50 we have made it into the tent, the first tent. That tent was used that's where they like checked the QR code you got for ordering your tickets.
Yeah.
So they asked me like, what's your last name? All right, let me look it up. And the woman I spoke with, she had a book, all right, with all the names and like what colored wristband you were gonna get that correlated to what you bought.
What you paid for, yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, all right, this is what she said. She said, all right, 2 selfies is what she said. And I was like, oh, cool. I get an autograph and I get to take a picture with Max. Tight. Awesome. Didn't know that was a thing. There was, you could buy a ticket that you could get a picture with the entire cast. And so I just wasn't sure if we'd be able to get a selfie with the individual person we got the autograph for.
Gotcha.
So, she goes, here you go. Here's your wristbands. And Kristen asked me, she was like, as we're like sort of making our way out of the tent, because there's like 6 people sitting at this table. And as we're walking out, she's like, just double check, make sure we're getting the autographs. Okay. So I turn around and ask the guy, I was like, is it like, this is part of the autographs, right? And he goes, I don't think so.
Oh, no.
And he looks at the lady that we spoke to, and she goes, in my book, it says the selfie. So,
oh, no, dude. You got 10 minutes to figure this out.
Dog, I don't care. Like, I am at the point in love, I don't care. I'm over it. I am so over this.
Dude, cue the Phil Collins music. I don't care anymore.
I don't care anymore. And so the guy's like, all right, what's your name? Looks it up. He goes, no, you have autographs. And he goes, so give him the bands for the autograph. We already have these other bands. He goes, today's your lucky day. You get to take pictures with everybody.
Dude.
You get to take pictures with everybody. Dude. So
worth the wait. Worth the wait. Worth it.
At this point,
right there.
You'd say worth the wait. I didn't care, dude.
I don't even want the wristbands.
I was so over it.
Man.
I literally, there was not a care in my body. I was like, all right, cool. Let's wrap it up. Like,
let's get out of here. We end promptly at 7. Don't forget.
It's 6:50 when we walked into that tent.
As they're handing you the wristbands. 7 o'clock, right?
Yeah. So we're not even in the second tent yet. And there was people behind us. There was minimum
not for long.
Another hour left for those people in the back. Minimum.
Well, that line was about to evaporate promptly at 7.
Promptly at 7. No, so we pull up to the tent. To the tent, finally. All right? And this is what's been taking so long. They had no idea what they were doing.
No.
They had just a bunch of people crammed in the tent, all right? Somebody asked, like, they'd look at the wristbands, they'd be like, all right, did you bring something to get autographed? If not, we have pictures for you that you get to select out of, and, like, you can pick out of some, like, magnets to take with you, and you get a poster for the 30th anniversary. All right, so I'm sitting here over it. Absolutely. I don't even want to be here right now. Like,
no, I get that way too.
And I'm carrying it's not a bag anymore. It just doesn't exist.
Dude,
I took pictures of it.
A wet knapsack.
It basically is like if somebody were to have found the original Bible today, this is the piece of paper that would have wrapped the Bible.
Like if somebody stomped on your school lunch.
It was a wet noodle. All right.
And shoved it in a trombone.
Yeah. Like, I'm carrying this bag. I see the cast of Hocus Pocus. I'm a child. All right. And I'm just like, this is mind blowing. This is like actually crazy because Max, he was wearing a long sleeve, but he had a tie-dyed shirt over it.
Oh, dude, of course.
The girl who played Allison literally hasn't aged a day.
No. She looks exactly the same.
Aged.
That photo I saw?
Identical.
Yeah, it's crazy, actually. I was looking at the rest of them like, oh, who's that? Who's that? And then I saw her. I was like, oh, I know exactly who that is.
The guy who voiced Binks, like, I'm not trying to talk bad about anybody because they were literally the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. I'm dead serious when I say that. The dude who voiced Binks, that man is 5'2".
Dude.
I saw him and I went, what? He's 5'2". Like, I Googled it. He's 5'2". He was short. Dog.
Dude, they just put him in a cat suit then in that case.
Like, I was so confused. I was like, what?
No wonder why they could film the whole movie before he did his lines. He was there.
So, yeah, he was there. So we're standing in this line to go do our stuff with the people, and a guy comes up to me. Like, I'm just like, my body is, I have my arms tight against myself because I'm freezing. I am
right.
It's in the 40s. I'm soaked to my bones.
100% expecting to get a cold. You're just I'm gonna have a sore throat tomorrow. I'm gonna have a sore throat.
And standing in line, one of the people that was helping in there like saw me holding that bag of shirts, and he asked me, he's like, "Yo, what you holding? Do you want me to hold on to it?" I was like, it's shirts actually I got a bunch of shirts for some people. And he goes, "Oh, all right, yeah, let me hold it. It's no problem." Okay, cool, tight. We're sitting there. People are taking pictures with people. They're getting the autographs. A lady kind of comes out of my peripheral, and she's got an orange bag. And she's like, comes up. She walks up to me, and the guy came walking back up. He's like, "Listen, we're gonna put your stuff in a bag for you." This is literally my response. I go, "Man, thank you so much." Like, I was ready to cry.
Dude.
I was so happy to just not be carrying, like, because I was ready for something to just fall out, hit the mud, and it's over. Like,
yeah.
I was over it. And the lady, she's holding the bag. She's like, "Listen, we have some extra stuff for you at the bottom of the bag." And I was like, tight. Nobody's getting these bags right now.
Dude, what?
They gave me a bag with extra stuff.
They could tell you were the most miserable person in the world.
I was so miserable.
Dude, they could tell. You definitely had a look on your face.
It was great. So Kristen was in front of me. She's got the wristband to take selfies with everybody, to get a picture with everybody, and then to get the autograph from both Max and Binks.
Yeah.
And so she goes up there. She was actually like about to go up. She handed her phone to somebody, and a guy like asked her, he's like, Do you two want to take a picture together?" And she was like,
yeah.
She goes, "Are we allowed to?" And he goes, "No, but do you want to?" And at that point, that's when I knew, this is why we've had a 5-hour wait,
dude. Yep.
This is it.
Nobody's following the rules. Nobody cares.
Nobody.
Everybody's like, these are a bunch of kids right now.
Yeah.
These are a bunch of little 5-year-olds in adult bodies.
Literally. And so she gets
That's why they give you goodie bags, dude. They give you goodie bags.
So she steps up. She goes, gets the autographs. Oh, well, she's like, Max went off to sign her picture. He signs it. Oh, well, no, I don't think that's how it happened. She took the picture first. Like, everybody got together. That's what it was. Everybody got together. She took a picture with them, and the guy was like, "Yo, get in." So I got up behind everybody. All right. And this sounds so dumb. I'm just touching on everybody. All right. So I'm back there, and we take pictures together. And then things kind of break up real quick. Max goes to sign the picture for Kristen, and as all this is happening, the guy that had Kristen's phone is just, this man nonstop. This man took 40 pictures.
Like, hey, rad.
He's
good.
He's snapping pictures of Kristen talking.
He knew
with
what he was doing.
Hugging people. Like, dude.
It's wedding photo album material.
It was wild. So Jason, the guy who voiced Binks, he signed her picture. Like, he put his name. He drew a cat face. Like, he wrote a whole like sentence on this picture.
Oh, that's cool, wild. Dude.
She was sitting there talking to the other people as they were doing that. I got in, And I just didn't even know how to pose. I felt really bad because, like I said, your boy, 5'2". What did I do? I crouched. I took a stance. I got low, bro. So
That's why I couldn't tell in that photo then. I was going to say, nobody looked short in that photo.
Dog,
he was on the left, wasn't he? In that photo?
He was.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm taking a squat, all right? And I didn't know what to do with my hands at this point because I'm squatting against the ground. What do? What did I do? Threw up peace signs.
And they did too.
Bro, the guy, Max, the guy who played Max, Omri Katz, he goes, "Oh, peace signs, right on!" And he just does it too. The guy who played Binks, he's got a peace sign up. Like everybody, it was so great.
That's awesome, dude.
It was so wild.
It sounds like they really appreciate that role. It was
a very personable experience. It wasn't like it wasn't a con thing whatsoever. Like after that. This gets a little graphic, because I didn't know. I walked over because Max, the guy who played Max, was signing my picture, and he signs the picture, and like my brain is fried. I don't know what's going on, and I shook hands with him, and I was like just standing. Yep. Yeah, see where this is going.
Oh no.
Bro,
oh no.
You caught on so fast. All right.
Oh no.
So fast. And I didn't realize, yep. My hand popped back open. And so I definitely, without a doubt, I'm so sorry, but I put blood on his hand. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh no.
That happened. So I shook his hand. And like I didn't know what to say to him. I was like, "Man, thank you so much." And I just looked at him. I go, "Can I have a hug?" And this man was like, "Of course." Like, what?
Dude.
And he didn't just give me like a hug. This man like bear hugged me. He just like squeezed me. This man squeezed me, patted me on the back, and like thanked me. And I was just like a little kid ready to cry. And after that, I turn around, don't know why, shook hands with Jason. Hugged him, hugged out. I hugged everybody. I hugged everybody. All right. So it was like
family reunion.
It was so wild.
You guys are the best, man.
Yeah. I'm so.
You probably weren't the only one like that. That's
without a doubt. All right. And I think I'm being completely honest. If I wasn't so out of it at that point, I probably would have cried. It was crazy. It was absolutely, mind blowing. That was the first time they've ever done something like that. They were the ones that reached out to the city and asked if they could do something for the 30th
I was surprised it was that group. I expected when you told me that the cast was going to be there, it was going to be like the witches.
Yeah, so
not like the core actual members, because you don't hear about them outside of the very first movie, like at all.
No, yeah.
Compared to the witches, the witches were like the main draw for that.
Yeah, so got to meet everybody. I hugged everybody. I bled on some people.
Yeah,
I bled on some people.
Wow.
Not knowingly until after it had happened, like after we had left. It was just it was so weird. And like thinking back on it, it was like.
So it's possible you didn't bleed on him, is what you're saying. It's possible.
No, without a doubt, I did.
No,
my hand was all smudged up. Yeah, dude. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Oh my god.
I have there one of the autographs that I grabbed a corner of it, not a corner, like a side of it, and there's blood on it.
No.
So I don't have anything, so like we're good, you know.
Man, like, yeah.
We're good. But it was so I can't even explain it. Like it was I told Jacob this. It was that experience up until the last 10 minutes of it, that experience of it is in the top 3 worst experiences of my entire life. And I'm not being facetious. Very literal, top 3 worst moments ever. Leading up to the last 10 minutes. And like meeting everybody was just, they were
last 10 minutes, greatest moment.
Greatest. They were all so nice. Like they were just so nice.
I mean, media training will do that for you too.
I mean, that's true, but then like I said, they were the ones that set this up. It wasn't anybody else.
Yeah, that's true.
They reached out to the city and asked if they were able to do something. So they put it on themselves.
That's cool, dude. Wish more people cared about the stuff they made like that.
Like I said, the entire situation, it wasn't like I paid $100 for somebody to sign a picture and then they told me to just get out of here.
Yeah.
It was so wild. It was so personable, which I can understand why now. It was 4 hours. That part can suck a butt. Like, that was so bad.
But man, there should have been a little understanding. I mean, it was raining.
They were. Kristen, the girl who played Allison, was like, I think she asked Kristen if she could give her a hug. I think is what happened. And Kristen was like, I'm soaking wet. And she was like, if you don't want us to, that's fine. But we want to, you know? And she's like, all right, give me a hug. Like, do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So everything made it back in one piece. The trek back to the car was god awful.
Did you see the sad look on everyone's faces as you walked past the line of people when you left?
No, that's the crazy part. At no point of the line walking up to the tent, like, did you ever see anybody leave? Never.
Well,
because they went out like a different side. All right. So,
dude,
I was waiting to ask somebody, like, was it worth it? You know, was it?
Like standing in line for a carnival ride?
Yeah.
Should I even bother?
So, like, while we were standing in line, like I said, we made friends with the people in front of us, and one of the people in front of us, they won tickets to the costume party.
Oh man.
And she had pictures and videos of like she was partying with the cast of Hocus Pocus. Dog. Like,
that's rad,
they were all singing. It was wild. Bananas. Like, Omri Katz was the guy who played Max. He gave her a pin and like a little goodie bag of stuff. It was crazy. Absolutely bananas. So,
sounds like a good trip.
I mean, the trip as a whole was fantastic. I highly suggest anybody that is at all interested in history, the town of Salem is chock full of it. Chock full of it. There's some other stuff that I missed that like happened that we saw, like there's a house in Salem called the Witch House that was the house of the judge residing over everything.
Oh,
it's still
man.
There, and it's called the Witch House.
Dude. That's what I want to see.
Because he's a beehole, you know?
How'd that guy live?
Yeah. So I got pictures of that. Oh, I forgot to mention the third spot in Hocus Pocus that was used. There was a school back in the 80s that got shut down. And it's right outside of the commons that it was closed down in the 80s, and they used it to film inside that school for Hocus Pocus. They actually did film in that, so I got pictures of that.
Oh, that's right.
We walked through the graveyard.
Oh, dude. Sick.
We walked through the graveyard, and so like I said, the judge, he's buried there.
Oh.
And yeah, there was a guy giving a tour, and we heard him telling his people, he was like, yo, if you're going into the graveyard, don't touch his grave. He goes, it's not that it's cursed, but he was just a hated human being.
Bad energy, man.
Not only that, people have spit on the grave.
Oh,
people
yeah.
have peed on his grave.
Oh, yeah.
Don't touch it. All right.
Lick it. Don't touch it. Lick it.
These graves, I'm telling you, they are so, I mean, they're old as dirt, you know? And they're like an inch and a half thick left. Like, that's all they're skinny pieces of stone. It's crazy.
Skinny little slabs.
Yeah, literally. And then I forgot. Yeah, so I mentioned the village that we saw. Pioneer Village is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
That was used also in Hocus Pocus. It was for the back when Thackeray Binks is actually a person. That little area of huts, that is Pioneer Village. So like they actually used that place. Yeah,
man, there's so much cool history around that place.
And just for the history's sake, like, we got the added bonus of meeting the cast of Hocus Pocus, which is just the most mind-blowing thing. Like, call me ignorant, all right? But, like, there were very few people that are able to say that happened. And I just have a horror story to go with it.
Yeah, you've got a really cool story.
It was bananas, and I can't thank them enough. It was, like I said, just the most personable experience I could have imagined.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to Hocus Pocus. Ooh.
Yeah. So, yeah. I know there's stuff that I missed for sure. But like I said, I took. Oh no! There's one other thing I gotta mention.
All right.
One other thing. We walked by a church, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a sign that says First Church in Salem. So come to find out, it literally was the first church in Salem. All right?
Heck yeah.
You're talking built in the 1600s. And not only that, it was the first congregational church in America.
Oh, so it's old. It's old.
This is like, you're talking one of the first churches, like, you know.
That's
like,
old, man.
We went to church Sunday. We literally went to, like, because they actually go to church. There's people that go to that church. Did they use
that church?
Yes.
Oh, heck yeah.
We went into that church and actually went to a service.
Hallelujah. Dude, I was on it when I started this.
But you totally were.
Dude. Hallelujah.
Yeah. Man, I'm like ready to wrap this up, but then there's stuff that I'm remembering.
Dude.
This all right. This isn't witch related. It's not spooky related. Pirates were a huge thing in Salem, if you didn't know.
What?
Dog. The richest pirate known to the world.
Known to plunder the booty.
He was from there.
Who?
His name is Sam Bellamy.
Bellamy. You know?
Almost nobody's ever heard of him. Why? Because he was a nice pirate. So, there is a TV show on Max called Our Flag Means Death. They believe they got that story from Sam Bellamy.
Dude.
Because he was a literal nice pirate. He didn't kill anybody. You know how much this man was worth when he died?
Too much?
He was the richest pirate we have historical data.
How much?
For
how much?
120 million.
Whew.
$120 million. And this man never killed anybody? What?
Just on a mission.
He's
in the very beginning of Assassin's Creed 4, actually.
So we go into this museum and I'm thinking like, all right, this is off the beaten path, this museum, and not a lot of people were going into it. And we were just like, all right, it's something cool to do. They found his boat.
Oh, no way.
About 200 yards off the coast. Where
different water levels, man.
There was a hurricane that happened.
Oh, yeeted it.
You're talking 200 yards? That's 2 football fields.
Hey, man. It either got yeeted or they tried to pull it ashore because it was just getting thrashed and bashed.
So they found this boat in the 80s. They just found this thing. It was so well preserved. So they believe when it got hit, the boat kind of tilted to one side a little bit, and there were 40 cannons on this boat.
Dang, dude.
40
just massive balls, massive cannonballs flying at you.
Listen, so they thought, but here's the thing. They didn't use it to kill people.
That's true, yeah.
Use the boat to kill people.
What they have just to be scary.
Their objective was they had enough sails and wood and rope to reconstruct 3 boats.
Yeah, it was like a man of war.
On the boat.
It was just a giant ship.
They would disable boats. They would pull up and be like, yo, if you want to be part of our crew, cool. If not, get lost.
Want to join the fleet, laddie?
They would, the boat was a democracy. Their crew.
Man.
They made people sign a document saying you had equal share in everything. If your portion of the gold, you got just as much as the boy next to it. Yeah, I mean, it was communism.
That's communism.
But it was a democracy in the sense of there was no actual single captain.
Yeah, everybody made a vote. Group vote.
Everybody made a vote. Yeah. Everybody got equal shares in everything.
I feel like he wasn't the only one who did that.
He may not have been the only one that did that. But
definitely the most successful.
$120 million, and he did not kill anybody.
You know what a crazy thought is? There's so much wealth at the bottom of the ocean.
We have no idea.
There's so much wealth.
This boat was found 40 years ago.
I know. That's what I'm saying. There's still so much wealth just down underwater.
Did I send you any pictures of this? I probably didn't.
I don't think so.
So, in this museum, they have a buttload of stuff that they recovered from this boat. They, to this day, are still recovering stuff from the boat.
Oh, I believe it.
So,
I believe it, dude.
They packed their cannons so well. They recovered dry gunpowder.
I was gonna say, dude, I bet those things are bone dry in it.
There was a pewter dish. Is that no, not a pewter, a petri dish. That's what it is. They had a petri dish full of gunpowder. Dry as a bone.
That's crazy.
I took pictures of literally every single thing inside of this place because it's all real. And so there was a guy who volunteers there that kind of just like hangs out and he'll like tell you some facts about the stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew I was getting like giddy about everything and like the stories he was telling about everything. And he's talking about the cannons. So they had cannons that shot 4-pound cannonballs.
Mm-hmm.
And they had more other cannons that shot a 6-pound cannonball. They did not have any 6-pound cannonballs on the ship. That cannon, those cannons in particular, grab the knives, grabs the forks, grab the spoons, toss them in.
Nah.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Dude.
So you couldn't take any flash photography in there. None of it.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
And so we're like, the guy's telling us about this cannon. All right, the 6-pound cannon. And he was like, yeah, basically anything they could stuff in there to try to disable a ship, they were tossing in there and just firing it. They would jam pack it full of powder and just fire stuff. And
dude,
he goes, he like whispers at me. He looks around. He goes, hey, and he looks around. He goes, all right, there's too many people in here right now, and I don't want to do it with a bunch of people around because everybody else is going to want to do it. He's like, so once you're through with everything, come back through, and I want to show you something. All right.
Oh, he's showing you the good stuff.
And
can only be something good.
He as we're walking away, he said something, and he goes, listen, I'm gonna let you take a look inside the cannon. So that's a big deal. All right. And so we're going through the museum. I did show you the picture of, we got to touch real, doubloons. That's booty. What it was. Real booty. I got to
touch
booty. I got to touch booty. All right.
Hundreds of years old.
They had a full chest of silver.
Full chest.
They had a full.
I had my hands on a full chest.
No.
And my finger on the booty.
My finger on the booty. No. So the chest was inside like a trophy case, basically, in the center of it. And the chest was full of silver that they recovered from this boat.
Oh,
all wow. Real. This is a literal. The chest was from the boat. The silver was from the boat. It was a literal overflowing chest of silver. Bro, what?
I mean, yo ho.
It was like, I was such a kid. And as we were finishing up the museum, I was like, it might not be a good idea to go do that because they don't want us doing flash photography. I don't want to feel like I'm imposing. So we left. And
didn't look in the cannon?
No, so they had the only public restroom in that area whatsoever, unless you used a porta potty. So I walked back inside. I had to use the bathroom, and I heard a guy walk in, and he was washing his hands. And as I'm stepping away from the urinal, it was him. And I was like, man, this is what I said. I said, we went to go walk back through, but there were still tons of people in there. So I didn't want things to get weird. He goes, follow me. I know a guy. And dude, he takes us back in. There's nobody in there because they just closed. He walked us back through and he goes, listen, turn your flashlight on and look inside the cannon. It was like looking back into like a portal.
What did it look like?
He said, this is what he said. He said, you're one of a literal handful of people that has ever seen the inside of a cannon like this preserved ever.
Dude.
Ever. What? The inside of this cannon was absolutely it was shredded because of all the stuff they put in.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
There was some rust in there, but the cannon, like I said, it was so well packed. Man. There was no moisture got in the cannon.
Yeah, so beyond. Oh wow, dude.
So it was like yeah. I have a pic. I was like, listen, can I take a picture? He goes, oh yeah, do it. Yeah, for sure.
Dude,
I was like, what? So out of respect to them, that's gonna be one of the pictures I'm not gonna post on social media. I gotta leave something out.
Yeah.
All right. So
do I get to see it?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Take that.
Yeah. So that was like mind blowing to see all
That's
that
so
stuff.
Cool.
Even.
You're lucky.
Yeah, it was so cool. Like, oh, it was so cool. Yeah. Richest pirate known to man. And almost nobody knows who this guy is.
That's the thing. The richest pirate known to man. You know how many people used probably fake names back then?
And
just weren't documented?
What else is crazy is Sam Bellamy actually was on the same boat. I can't remember who. They were all a part of the same crew. He was on a crew with Blackbeard.
Yeah, I know. Black Flag is literally this whole story, dude.
Dude, it's
Play Black Flag.
I gotta go play Black Flag again.
You just got glitched one time and gave up. Dude, you were... Dude.
Over
a story for another time. We're already an hour 30 in.
I told you this story was going to be long.
Before we're out of here, you know they're making an Assassin's Creed that's based on witches, right? Like
I'm
the Salem.
so excited. Beam me up. Beam me up, dude.
And that
Beam
one,
me up.
if it is, it's got to be good. It's probably going to be just as good as Assassin's Creed 3, if anything.
Yeah.
That time period? Oh, they nailed that time period so well, too.
Yeah.
I got to play Assassin's Creed 3.
But, yeah, I'm excited for that. But, yeah, like you said, we're an hour and a half deep.
We got movies.
Before we wrap things up, I just want to reiterate, Salem is just it's actually really small. Really small. But
I wouldn't expect it to be big. I wouldn't.
It's so historically dense. If you like history, go to Salem. I would recommend, like I said, unless you wanna see like a bunch of people dressed up and doing the Halloween stuff, go during the summer. There's so much to do still.
And it probably won't rain and be freezing.
Yep. And you won't have to stand in a 4-hour line. It's fine.
Or if you want to stand in a 4-hour line, go right ahead.
Yeah, go right ahead. Just for no reason though. Yeah, absolutely wild. Couldn't recommend it enough. It was very memorable. I'll put it that way. Yeah. So to wrap up our 31 days of horror.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow, tomorrow. Halloween.
Yeah. Halloween.
So, we're giving you the last 2 movies to send off Halloween.
I got one extra.
I saw the one extra, but I feel like that basically, because the first 2, let me put it this way, the 2 that I have on here, they're still in essence the same. So adding the second one is like the actual second one. I want Jacob to do his second because it's fitting. So I'm gonna say my recommendation is it's the House on Haunted Hill. House on Haunted Hill.
I'm pretty sure you've talked about this like 5 different times and go through this exact same thing every time. Is it the house or house on the or house is there is the in the title?
Is the even there? Yeah. So House on possibly the Haunted Hill. They have the original one that came out in like the 50s, which is actually just tight.
It's probably
sick.
Good.
It is actually fantastic for being that old.
Back then are great.
Then they did one that was either in the late 90s or the early 2000s. Sucked, but still tight if you like scary movies. And then there's the little freebie in there, The Haunting, which is also based on the House on Haunted Hill. You know what I'm saying. I don't know
Haunted Hill with the house that's
the
on
Haunted
it.
Hill that has a house on it. All right. So The Haunting had Liam Neeson in it. Also tight. That came out in like the 80s. No, not the 90s. I think it was the 90s. So that also, I'm gonna tie those 3 in together because those are they're all of them are good. So if you want to go watch any one of the 3, look at you got options. You got options.
Options. So many options.
So Jacob, to send us off on the final movie for 31 Days of Horror, What is it?
The final movie in the realm of Salem is The Village.
Banger.
The Village, I don't know how we actually didn't talk about it sooner. It just popped into my head as you were talking, and I was like, no way.
I was going to say, I can't believe
That's a big one.
I talk about this movie actually all the time with people because it's one of those movies, because it's M. Night Shyamalan.
It's good.
So
it's really good.
I don't want to spoil anything with this movie. I don't want to say what it's about, because it's one of those. It's like if you haven't seen Sixth Sense,
I guess
you have to. If you haven't seen this movie, you have to see this movie.
It's very good. It's very 90s. I don't know how. Even though it came on the early 2000s, it's very, very 90s in the way it's filmed, the way it feels. Oh, dude. The graininess of the film, just so itself.
The Village is so...
The atmosphere of it is so good. It's got a great story.
Oh!
Keeps you on your toes, dude.
It does.
That's M. Night Shyamalan, though. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That is exactly what he does.
I remember, how... That movie, it was horrifying.
Dude, you're always guessing the entire movie.
Oh, yeah. The entire movie. And at which age we watched it, because we weren't, basically if a movie was PG-13, you had to be 13 to watch it in our household, minimum.
Well,
maybe not you loser, but.
Yeah, divorced parents. That's what I got.
So, yeah. No, I remember at the age at which I watched it, I was horrified.
Oh, I wasn't really horrified. I thought it was really interesting. I was
horrified.
Great movie. Go watch it.
Good. That is a great movie to watch. Yeah. To wrap up Halloween.
Especially if you're gonna watch it the day this podcast comes out. Hallows Eve. Perfect day to watch it, man.
Perfect day to watch it.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
That was
Carve a Pumpkin.
Carve a Pumpkin. Watch The Village. If you haven't seen The Village, go watch The Village. That's one of those movies that I like. You won't regret that movie.
No, you won't.
You won't.
It does have its moments where it's a little slow.
Yeah, for sure.
But that is
as that movie unfolds,
that's a small thing in that whole scope of the movie. It's really good.
Ooh. And on that note, dog, I have to go to bed.
These keep getting longer.
They keep getting longer, and I'm still trying to recoup. It's been 2 days.
You're gonna get sick. You're gonna get sick. Yeah, I give it 2 more days.
It's over. Yeah. Yep. So I'm gonna be posting pictures of the trip on the social medias. So follow us on X, Instagram,
TikTok,
Facebook, the TikTok, all over the place. It's at 2 DOF separation, and I'm gonna be posting them everywhere. So if you want to see some of my trip, go check it out.
Yeah, what's your social so they can find you there too? 'Cause you'll probably.
I'll post it there. Yeah, probably as well too. My social, it is at Fooly Wooly. So FOOLYWOULY, and that's the same across everything. X, Instagram. I have a TikTok, but I don't ever use it, so don't care about that. It's pretty much just Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter. Rest in peace.
It's still Twitter. If I type in twitter.com, it goes to Twitter. If I share a video from YouTube, it says share to Twitter.
There you go. But on that note, wrapping it up. Thank you guys so much for all the spooky episodes, and I'm actually really happy we got to, wrap things up with the trip to Salem. I think it was very fitting.
Yeah, I think that was the best way to end the month.
Yeah, it was wild. So, thank you guys so much for joining us for the month of October, and I hope you enjoyed all the stuff that we did. So there was some spooky stories told by us, by other people. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So
happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Be safe.
Eat candy.
Please be safe. Eat
Check
candy.
for razor blades.
Check for razor blades. Don't you know, I'm gonna throw
Don't take raisins.
Don't take raisins. No, I was gonna say don't drink and drive. Be responsible, please.
Don't take raisins when you're trick-or-treating.
Don't take raisins, those suck. So I'm gonna wrap it up here.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody that's been listening. I need to go to bed. Thank y'all so much. Happy Halloween. Eat some candy for us. Send us some pictures.
Yeah, send us pictures.
I want to see some costumes.
Dude, costumes, pumpkin carvings?
Yes! Something!
Heck yeah.
Stuff. It'll be wild.
Next week, I get to tell you all about how upset I am about my mods.
Prepare
I've been waiting a whole month for this.
All right, Jake. I'm going to bed.
All right.
Thank y'all so much. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good night.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.